Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to build the best salary cap lineup, specifically in my team, and showcasing what I think is pretty much the best salary cap lineup that you can build right now. I don't have every single card in my collection, but I have the majority of cards on my main account and have a really good team assembled. And I'm going to talk about why this is the squad that I assembled and how to build the best salary cap lineup. Before we hop into it, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 15,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, and I would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. So the first thing to talk about is that salary cap round 2 has begun today. Hopefully y'all completed round 1. I personally didn't. I actually won't be getting Terry on my account. I just haven't had the time, but he wouldn't have made my main team anyway, I don't think, so I'm not that concerned about it. But definitely an interesting card, and you're going to want to complete salary cap for him. A lot of people are. The rewards are good, and it's double XP and salary cap this weekend as well, so this is a great time for this. And this team is the squad that I think is absolutely incredible for salary cap right now. As y'all can see, the only Ruby and above that we have on our whole team, the only ones, are Donovan Mitchell, Cliff Robinson, Baron Davis, and Channing Frye, who happen to be my 2 point guards and my 2 centers. Everything else in between is a budget card, and even Channing Frye is a budget card. He's only 600. The only 2 super expensive cards on my team, honestly, are Donovan Mitchell and Cliff Robinson. The reason that I think building a 10-man lineup like the one that I have here is, number 1, salary cap games are long enough where players are going to get tired, and number 2, even if you try to say build a 5-man lineup, your bench is still going to have 8 300 salary cards on the bench, which is 2,400 salary, and that gives you a total of a little over 9,100 to work with in your starting lineup. But the problem is that's an average of less than 2,000 per player, and there really aren't that many good players for under 2,000 MT. In terms of like truly top tier cards, there just aren't very many. If we go look by max salary for less than 2,000 MT, Damian Lillard is very good, Grant Hill's okay, Clyde is good, Al Horford's all right. I'm sure there are a bunch of good, better like Ruby and especially below Ruby budget cards. The top Rubies generally aren't, although this Michael Ray Richardson for 1,800 is a decent price. But Baron Davis happens to be 600 salary right now for whatever reason, so we're using him. Same thing with Channing Frye, also 600. He's a great stretch center. Everyone in my 10-man rotation can shoot the ball. We have a lot of defensive versatility. Donovan Mitchell, Eddie Jones, Jordan Walsh, Darvin Ham, and Cliff Robinson are all at least capable, if not plus defenders. And then same thing off the bench. Pretty much everyone here except for Channing Frye is a capable defender as well. Channing Frye is a really good shooting big. Not going to give me as much defensively, but off the bench, I am totally cool with that, especially for the 600 price point. I only have 2 players above 600 salary cap, though. I guess I could replace Donovan Mitchell with a slightly cheaper player. For example, I could replace him with a Ruby Michael Richardson, for example, and save 2,200 points. And then I could put those 2,200 somewhere else, but say I wanted to put those 2,200 at the shooting guard position, that would give me like a total of 2,800, and I'm just not going to be able to get that much for that 2,800 price point. The top cards in the game are all 3,000, 4,000, 6,000 points in terms of salary cap, pretty much. So if you want to get the truly top tier cards, you have to you have to spend the vast majority of your budget on 1 or 2 cards. And I think it's just better to have a legitimate 10-man lineup that has depth, a rotation, defense, and then you want to make sure you focus on having good bigs and good guards. That's why I like Cliff Robinson and Donovan Mitchell so much, is because they're not crazy expensive and they're both elite level cards at their position. Then Baron Davis and Channing Frye, really good budget cards as well. And we got everything else on the squad filled out with a lot of budget demons who are going to fill this team really, really effectively. And this is the type of team that I think you should be trying to target to make in salary cap. Obviously, you don't have to go like exactly the way that my team is, and you're not going to have every card in your collection the same way that I do, probably. But Cliff Robinson is free. Donovan Mitchell is $10, but you get the Pro Pass. It's the best value thing you could buy. Good chance you might already have Baron Davis in your collection from the deal of the day that he was, or from getting the Dunktober pack, the Equal Chance pack. You might have gotten him for a Ruby. There's a good chance you have that collection. I have an unsellable Channing Frye as well. I've gotten both of these cards unsellable, which means that I got them for free. Nobody on my team actually is everyone on my team is attainable very affordably, and this is a really, really realistic, cheap team that you can build. It's going to be absolutely incredible for salary cap, and I just think it's better to have this type of depth than a 5-man lineup. The other thing about a 5-man lineup is if somebody gets hurt, you're kind of screwed. You're going to have to throw in one of those 300 currency gold cards into your team, which could definitely become a huge liability. So that's the other reason why a 5-man lineup isn't the best. I think having the 10-man lineup so that you have the depth and a backup option in case you do need that via injury or for whatever the case may be. I just think that's another reason that it's really important to run that 10-man lineup. I just don't think with the way the salary cap is right now and the expense of the top tier, truly most expensive cards and best cards, They're so expensive in salary cap, you just can't afford to put those players in. Because like if I wanted to put, for example, Giannis on my team, he's insane, but he's 6,000. If I wanted to put Giannis on my team, the rest of my team combined, after I had 8 300 currency golds, would be a total of 3,100, which gives me an average of like slightly less than 800 per player. So I basically have Giannis and like 4 emeralds or sapphires. I guess I could have Ruby, Baron Davis. So I'd have like Giannis, Ruby, Baron Davis, and then a few emeralds and sapphires like Eddie Jones, Jordan Walsh, Darvin Ham. And that would be my whole team. So I basically have the same team that I have anyway, just with one top tier card and no bench. So to me personally, I don't think it's worth doing that at all. I have seen people try to run, for example, when Shaq first came out, I ran into a couple of people who basically had Shaq on their team and nobody else. But I also think that worked a little bit better when we didn't have quite as many solid budget cards. Guys like Cliff Robinson, who are only 2,400, really, really good, versatile defensive big, will compete. Same thing with a point guard like Donovan Mitchell, obviously, is the most expensive player. But then we have guys who could shoot and defend at every other position for the rest of our squad, which is really, really nice. And overall leads to a salary cap team that I honestly think can compete with any team. And so for me personally, salary cap is really not that complicated. You just got to build a really good, well-rounded team more than having just a top card or two, in my personal opinion anyway. I haven't played any salary cap this season. As y'all can see, that's literally the first time I clicked on the tab, but the salary cap rewards aren't awful. I mean, they're not great, but you get 35,000 MT, some tokens, a Ruby player who admittedly Jose Colorado's not very good, then a shoe boost, and a pack. So there are some things that you can get out of here that can make you some MT and be some decent rewards. And salary cap is also a pretty quick game mode that you still get 4,000 or 5,000 MT per game in. So it's a mode to make a lot of MT, one of the maybe the best mode to grind to make MT each season or each round, I should say. So if you're looking to make MT as a no money spent player, salary cap is a great place to do it if you want to make MT by playing the game, because of the ability to have a team like this that is not very expensive at all, uses mostly free cards and super budget cards with maybe 1 or 2 slightly better cards in the lineup, because it's super affordable. A no money spent player can build this type of team and still have tons of success in salary cap, and then get better rewards and get better MT and make their squads better as a whole. So I think salary cap is a very good mode because it is inviting for a lot of people, and it kind of evens the playing field a lot for a no money spent player. Obviously, the gameplay in salary cap can be kind of frustrating at times because you're using lower tier cards, but as the year progresses, we will be able to use better cards in salary cap still, and I think it'll make it even more of a fun mode for a no money spent or a budget player to play in. So that is just my opinion. I think I may have talked a little longer than I needed to in this video, but I wanted to give you all a good picture of how to build a salary cap and why my thinking is on all these different things as to why I built my squad the way that I did. So with that being said, I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.